A very warm good morning to everybody. I'm Dr. Pooja Garg from the Postgraduate Government College, Sector 46, Chandigarh. The topic of my discussion today is representation of trauma in partition short stories. How does one go back to living a normal everyday life after experiencing a violent, traumatic, and catastrophic event like the partition and loss of a homeland? Do the survivors try to forget what happened, or do they try to put together the experiences into their lives? Significantly, trauma does not always have a negative meaning. So, this paper intends to explore post partition literature, especially the stories in which various writers thematize the shift from order to reorder, of course, through the intermediate phase of disorder. Each of these stories is a complex deliberation on trauma, many of them addressing the subject through structure as well as the story. They depict how survivors process and speak their pain and how oftentimes their stories go unheard by others and are suitably forgotten. But trauma is unrelenting. It is rooted in the pathways of our lives and in the power construct of our society. The stories that I focus on recount the bravery, fortitude, and courage with which the migrants stood to the time after the partition of India. Though shattered to the core, they strove to establish themselves in their new worlds. These writers also try to include uh, these writers also try to indicate that though the migrants face social exclusion, yet they struggle hard to establish a secular harmony around themselves. Having lost everything in the riots, these people tried to make their space in the new social surroundings, and as we will see in the stories discussed later in this paper, most of them did achieve great amount of success in their respective fields. Writers like Vishnu Prabhakar, Zaman, Jamila Hashimi, Kamaleshwar, Atia Hussain have penned their narratives. The sufferings of the violence and dislocation try to rehabilitate themselves. In their rehabilitation lies the narrative of formation and consolidation of nation state. In these stories, the life force among these characters comes out triumphant. They are, in real sense, the survivors of the traumatic experiences of the split of the continent. After suffering so much, these characters try to gather all the threads of their lives together. The scars of partition, however, continue to inform their story of success. I'll discuss two such stories. The first one is Atia Hussein's After the Storm, which is about a young girl whose name is Bibi. She's been taken up by the narrator's family as a servant after the partition of India. She's lost everything, her home, her family, to the riots. Despite all the barbarism that she has seen in her past, she still has a spark of light in her heart. The child in her loves all the beautiful but small things in life. She brings flowers and garlands for the narrator every morning. The flowers here are a symbol of life which she is trying to thread together in the form of the garland. She is trying to put the things of her life in order. Her talks with the narrator about her family and her past are without any censure. Her sweet memories of her mother and her home overshadow the ghastly memories of past. Even after her horrendous experiences, her innocence has not withered. She neither wants to avenge anyone nor does she has ill will for anyone. She feels happy in the company of the narrator and wants to always live with her. The next story in this category is Vishnu Prabhakar's I Shall Live. It is a story of a woman whose name is Raj, who, while migrating from Pakistan, loses her children and her husband. On the train, she finds a baby and she decides that she'll look after the child. She considered the child as a gift of God for all the misfortunes that she's faced. She flees with him and protects him by risking her own life. It is during that journey that she meets a man named Pran who helps her through all the problems. They start living together with the baby. However, after the passage of some time, the parents of the child are able to locate him and approach Raj and Pran. Though it becomes difficult for Raj to part with the child as she has now become too attached to him, yet she gives him back to his parents at the behest of Pran. After some time, her husband sees her and wants that she should come with him. Again, it is Pran, her second husband, who persuades her to go back to her husband and her child. These people, like Pran, they belong to a community in which the bond between the members is the suffering, the trauma that all of them have undergone in the past. It is the traumatic past which makes them sensitive towards the grief and suffering of others and also helps in performing their duties in a better way. Not only do these sufferers survive the riots, but also they work hard to resettle themselves. In spite of all the odds, they try to rehabilitate themselves. They have to face society exclusion, financial constraints, and many other things. All the difficulties have made these people more human and stronger. The trauma of displacement is too much for them. Throughout their lives, they keep yearning for the lost worlds where actually their identities were embedded. They try to impose some kind of social and moral order and try to restore the lost values. Instead of giving into rage, these people endeavor to bring stability and peace in the lives of people around them. So, it would be right to say that even after undergoing so much of violence, these people, instead of wreaking vengeance, choose to restore their lives. The stories make us believe so. The life, as it is said in any form, is the most precious gift of God. And characters in these stories choose life above all the evils of this world. Their zest for life undermines their past traumatic experience as they try to put in order the things in the society by creating a world of harmony and sanity. Thank you.